SpectrumTV, broadening your horizon. SpectrumTV, broadening your horizon.
Thanks for staying with us on Spectrum News at noon. We do apologize for that break in transmission, and we're back to our news bulletin. First in our news this afternoon is a report that the federal government has advised Nigerians to get vaccinated as new COVID-19 variant Omicron deepens COVID crisis globally. The government made the call through the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC). According to a statement signed by the NCDC Director General Ifedayo Adetifa, the body said it was monitoring emerging evidence on the new COVID-19 variant Omicron, which was first recently identified in Southern Africa, adding that fears about its ability to evade protective immune responses or its being vaccine resistant are only theoretical so far. Reports say the new variant is considered highly transmissible and has already triggered a new wave of travel restrictions targeted at countries in Southern Africa. Meanwhile, federal government may extend the implementation of capital projects components in the 2021 Appropriation Act till next year, following the inability of many ministries and agencies to conclude their procurement process until the last quarter of this year. Reports say heads of ministries, departments, and agencies who appeared before the various Senate standing committees for their 2021 budget performances blamed their inability to execute their capital projects to the ban placed on the procurement process from January to May 31. Recall that the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, had told the Senate committees on the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency that the federal government issued a circular to delay the implementation of capital components in the 2021 budget till May 31 this year. In another development, the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, had said that the social media platform Twitter has agreed to all the conditions laid out by the federal government regarding its operations in Nigeria. Keyamo, who is also a member of a committee set up to review the operations of the microblogging platform since its ban in the country, said the committee has made significant progress so far. Recall that the microblogging site was banned in Nigeria in last year. Meanwhile, federal government has allegedly directed the Nigerian Customs Service to ground 91 private jets belonging to some wealthy Nigerians over their alleged refusal to pay import duties running to over 30 billion naira. Reports say the Controller General of Customs, retired Colonel Hamid Ali, following a directive from the presidency, has written a letter to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, and the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, asking the agencies to ground the affected private jets with immediate effect. The letter was addressed to the Director General, NCAA, Captain Musa Nuhu, Managing Director FAN, Captain Rabiu Yadudu, and the Managing Director, NAMA, Captain Fola Akinkwotu. On works, the Federal Controller in Lagos, Olukayode Popola, has announced a 6-day traffic diversion on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway starting from today to speed up construction works. Popola, in a statement, said the diversion is to enable the contractor handling Section 1 of the project to lay asphalt between Arepo and Werewa, which is a distance of 1.5 kilometers. Popola added that the traffic diversion would be on the Lagos-bound carriageway. Away from that, the Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has asked the federal government, Federal High Court in Abuja, to compel President Muhammadu Buhari to ensure the arrest of security operatives involved in the shooting of peaceful EndSARS protesters at the Lekki tollgate and police brutality cases. In the suit filed last Friday, SERAP is also asking the court to direct and compel President Buhari to bring to justice anyone suspected to be responsible for the shooting of peaceful protesters and to ensure access to justice and effective remedies for victims, including adequate compensation. According to the group, the failure to promptly arrest and bring to justice those suspected to be responsible for the shooting of peaceful protesters and to ensure access to justice and effective remedies for victims and their families amounts to triversity of justice, as justice delayed is justice denied. On legislative matters, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila has identified youth empowerment among major factors that determine the development of the country. Addressing the youth participants of the Gbajabiamila Boot Camp Leadership Program, which took place at the Citizenship and Leadership Training Center, Sherry Hills, Jos Plateau State, the Speaker said he would continue to pay attention to the development of the Nigerian youth. Speaking on the initiative for the program, Gbajabiamila said it was his way of giving back to society in order to have a better tomorrow, noting he was delighted at the conduct of the participants. To the Niger Delta now, where the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio, has visited the national leader of All Progressive Congress, APC, Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, to condole with him and the Lagos state government over the IKOYI building collapse in the state recently. Speaking to newsmen about the visit, Akpabio thanked God for the successful medical trip of the former governor of Lagos State and APC leader and the repose of souls of those who lost their lives in the recent building collapse. He therefore prayed God that such would never happen again in Nigeria. In lieu of the fuel subsidy removal intensified over the weekend, business leaders have advocated investment in critical infrastructure like transport, health, and education as a better way of reducing the expected inflation impact of the policy on the masses. The business leaders include the President, Lagos Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Toki, Mabojogudu, Managing Director, 11 PLC, Adetunji Oyebanji, Bismarck, Renway-led Financial Deprivates Company-led Vice Executive Chairman, Highcap Securities Limited, amongst others. The body therefore called for investment in transport infrastructure as against the 5,000 Naira monthly transport grant to poor Nigerians. In Rivers State, reports say hundreds have been rendered homeless after an inferno swept through an overcrowded settlement in Port Harcourt. The incidents, which occurred over the weekend at the Elechi waterside in the state capital, is said to have been caused by an electric spark from one of the makeshift buildings in the slum before spreading to other structures. Meanwhile, the Rivers State government says it is investigating the cause of the incidents, adding that it will seize any property or land upon which an illegal refined petroleum product is found to have sparked the fire outbreak. Reports say this is the fourth fire outbreak to be reported in the state's capital in 1 week. On security, the Department of State Services has raised an alarm over plans by terrorists to attack military bases in border towns across the country. The security agency also put the Nigerian Customs Service on red alert to avert the pending attacks by insurgents on OGUN border communities and other border towns across the country, noting that the warning is based on intelligence gathering. In a leaked memo addressed to the Customs Area Controller Nigerian Customs Service Ogun Area Command Abeokuta, the DSS advised customs and other security agencies in the country to put countermeasures in place to frustrate the plot by insurgents. Elsewhere, Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade has asked orthopedic surgeons in the country to devise local solutions to addressing bones and joint problems suffered by patients. Ayade gave the charge while speaking at the 44th Annual General Meeting and Scientific Conference of the Nigerian Orthopedic Association in Calabar. Ayade decried the pains caused by orthopedic treatments and charged the orthopedic surgeons to devise a solution for the trauma. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor UDOM EMMANUEL has charged the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC to ensure the success of the ongoing reconstruction of the corporation. Governor EMMANUEL, who stated this when the management of the NNPC upstream, led by the Group Executive Director Adokiye Tombomeye, visited him at Government House Uyo, maintained that the responsibility of a successful transformation of the corporation to a limited liability company depends on the present crop of leaders at the corporation. The governor expressed the hope that the management of the corporation would not disappoint the expectation of Nigerians by ensuring that the NNPC was transformed to a company that will operate in line with the international best practices and in the interest of Nigerians. Governor EMMANUEL, who also regretted that Akwa Ibom State, with the highest reserves of oil and gas assets in the country, has no presence of the federal oil and gas infrastructure in the area, expressed belief that the NNPC will fulfill its promises of establishing a tank farm and other structures in the state, and also reiterated his call for the corporation to relocate some of its operational offices to the state. Speaking earlier, Group Executive Director NNPC Upstream and leader of the delegation, Adokiye Tombomeye, had said the NNPC is transitioning from a corporation into a limited liability company in line with the Petroleum Industry Act as one of the steps of restructuring the corporation for effective and efficient service delivery to Nigerians. Tombomeye said the team was in the state for a retreat to review the performance of the corporation in the last 3 quarters of the year. Following the start of the dry season, the indigents of Ikorakpa Noduk in Akpabio Ikoresien Ikorekpene local government area of Akwa Ibom State have again called on the state government to construct a convenient road and 3 other major roads in the area to revive its economic activities and the local market, which had long been closed down for lack of access roads. Speaking with SpectrumTelevision, the residents of the area lamented that the impact of dilapidated roads have crippled all forms of economic activities in the area, adding that the roads would have now become a forest route, have attracted all forms of crimes in the area. They pleaded for the state government's intervention to help reduce the sufferings of the people.
According to reports, the market called Esien Market along Convent Road was operated by residents from 3 major villages, Abiakpo in Ikorekpene, Itak and Ndiya villages, both in Ikono local government area, cutting across 2 local government areas. The market has been closed for months because Convent Road, where the market is, can no longer be accessible and has become a forest route for criminals.
Chief Sunday Matthew Abaniyangudo.
My name is Chief Sunday Akpaniyangudo. I am the Assistant Village Secretary of Abiakpo Ikoresien and the Family Advisor of Ikorekpanoduk, where this road is. It is pathetic for us who live here. Along this road is a Sien Market, also called Mbiam Market, sold by the people of Abiakpo, Itak and Ndiya. It is sad that there is no road to access that market anymore. The road has become bushy, If we try to use the road to go to Ndeya village, some hoodlums will block and rob us. The people of Ndeya can no longer come here to sell their goods. So we plead with government to come to our aid, because we have tried as a village, but we no longer have the strength to handle it. We have a very serious problem in this village. There was a market along this road, but because of road, we couldn't go to that market again. The market became closed. We need the help of government to make it accessible. The residents of Ikorokpan pleaded government's intervention to construct the road and other adjoining areas, including Ikwong Road, Etokowo Road, and Waterworks Road.
Away from the Abiakpo Ikodesien story, in Africa, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa on his call on countries to immediately reverse travel bans linked to the discovery of the new coronavirus variant Omicron, saying it is scientifically unjustified. In a statement made available to newsmen, President Ramaphosa calls on all countries that have imposed travel bans on South African or the Southern African countries to immediately reverse their decisions. Recall that the UK, US, and other countries introduced a travel ban following the discovery of the Omicron COVID variant, and dozens of nations have blacklisted South Africa and its neighbors since South African scientists flagged Omicron on November 25. On the foreign scene, British Health Security Agency has confirmed the detection of a third case of Omicron coronavirus variant. This comes after the government set out measures in response to the variant, including mandatory face masks in shops and public transports in England. Also effective tomorrow, the government's websites will instruct all passengers entering the UK to take a PCR test for COVID-19 2 days after their arrival and to self-isolate until they receive a negative result. In a related development, European Union says governments are facing a race against time to understand a new heavily mutated COVID-19 variant spreading across the globe, shutting down borders and renewing curbs. Indonesia reportedly announced similar entry restrictions yesterday, and Angola became the first Southern African country to suspend all flights from its regional neighbors, Mozambique, Namibia, and South Africa. The strain, which is dubbed Omicron, is said to be casting doubts on global efforts to battle the pandemic due to fears that it is highly infectious, forcing countries to reimpose measures many had hoped were a thing of the past. European Commissioner Chief Ursula von der Leyen said the vaccine manufacturers needed 2 or 3 weeks to get a full picture of the quality of the mutations. Still to come on the news, Lewandowski tipped for Ballon d'Or as Messi eyes a 7th prize. Stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned. On our business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria CBN, in a bid to defend the Naira, has injected $2.1 billion into the investors and exporters I&E window. This represents a 238% increase when compared with the $621.1 million injected into the I&E window in the corresponding period of 2020. Financial findings from the CBN's data and monthly intervention in the I&E window shows that the highest amount of $474.65 million was recorded in April, while the lowest amount of $195.91 million was recorded in June. Reports say, a result of the increased CBN intervention, the Naira was relatively stable during the period of 7 months till 2021. Still in Africa, the World Health Organization WHO has advised countries to follow the science rather than impose flight bans in a bid to contain the new OMICRON COVID-19 variant. Regional Director General Matshidiso Moeti said with the variant now detected in several regions of the world, putting in place travel bans that target Africa attacked global solidarity. He observed that the travel restrictions may play a role in slightly reducing the spread of COVID-19, but place a heavier burden on the lives and livelihoods. Moeti said if restrictions were implemented, they should be scientifically based, not evasive or intrusive. In Africa, President of the African Development Bank, Akinwumi Adesina, is advocating equitable distribution of COVID-19 vaccines globally. Adesina stated this in a tweet following the travel ban imposed on southern African countries by the United Kingdom, the United States, the European Union, and some Asian countries as part of an emergency response to the recently discovered COVID-19 strain first detected in South Africa. He reminded world leaders that Africa was not the source of coronavirus. It was first discovered in Wuhan, China, some 2 years ago. Adesina also said Africa should not be punished for the Omicron coronavirus variant and other mutations that occur randomly anywhere in the world. Still on health, 110 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control (NCDC) in the last 24 hours. The fresh infections comprise 27 new cases in Imo, 23 in Katsina, 20 in Rivers, 11 in Ondo, 9 in Kaduna, 6 each in FCT and Oyo, 3 in Plateau, 2 in Osun, 1 each in Ekiti, Gombe, and Zamfara. This puts the total number of confirmed infections in the country at 214,092. 270,554 persons have so far been discharged, while 2,976 have died from the virus. In sports, Robert Lewandowski threatens to deny Lionel Messi a record-extending 7th Ballon d'Or title as the prestigious award ceremony returns today after it was cancelled last year because of the pandemic. The Bayern Munich and Poland striker preferred a Bundesliga record 41 goals in just 29 games last season to eclipse the long-standing mark set by the late Gerd Müller. Recall that Lewandowski, 33, won FIFA's prize for Best Male Player of 2020 and has the backing of both coach Julian Nagelsmann and Bayern teammates Thomas Müller after a prolific start to the new campaign. On our entertainment news, Nigerian celebrities have recently opened up publicly about sexism they faced after multi-award-winning singer Simi spearheaded the Nobody Like Woman trend on Instagram, a platform which provides a safe space for stars and other women to share their experiences of discrimination. The 33-year-old singer said she wanted to start the campaign so women would understand they were not alone in their struggles. It coincided with the release of her new song, Woman. Reports say Simi cried as she scrolled past one of the hashtags posts on her social media feed about a woman who had been mocked for having 4 cesarean sections. Nollywood actress Chioma Omiwa, famously known as Chi Girl,